Told you guys this video was going to be about iOS development, so welcome to iDev Journey episode 4 season 2. Now I almost restarted season 2 because I've been away from it for so long, but I think it's only right to have a continuation of the previous episodes in season 2 of iDev Journey because that's what we're getting back into, the development of that application. I've been nose deep in refreshing myself with iOS development in the current state of that app, which really brings me around to the main point of this video, and that is how to get back into iOS development after being months away. I'm going to give you my first-hand experience in doing that, as well as discuss the current state of the application that I'm building in this series. But first, let me address the elephant in the room, and that is, why am I wearing snowboarding bibs? Well, let me show you. Where I live, it rarely snows, so when it does, we take advantage of it. That was funny. Yeah. Alright, so now playtime is over, the sun has set, and it's time to get back to work. And let's talk about the 2 simple steps that I use to refresh myself with iOS development. Step 1, I added Readme files to any of my existing iOS projects on my GitHub account. If they already had Readme files, then I edited those Readme files to match the format of all of the new Readme files that I'm creating. And it's really better for you to see firsthand of what I actually did. So let's go ahead and jump to GitHub. Before we dive into the repository, I want to have a shameless plug for myself, and that is go follow me on GitHub. GitHub.com/ForestKnight, same spelling as the title of my channel, or go ahead in the link in the description, click on it, it'll take you to there. Make sure you open it in a new tab so you don't leave this video. But this is where I keep all of my iOS projects for you guys to check out. You can see my code, kind of download it, edit it, or you can fork it, recommend a fork to me, and I can integrate that into my repository. If you aren't familiar with GitHub, get familiar with GitHub. So that's a whole nother story for another day. Let's get into the retro calculator repository and look at my README file. So as you can see in my README file, I have the title of my application, which is essentially the title of my repository. I have a brief description of that application. This is a retro-themed simple calculator iOS application. And then I state what I learned. This is the kicker. This is what you need to focus on. So let's just discuss what I learned. I learned how to write simple math operations with Swift, integrate UI buttons and sounds, design a UI using image assets with UI stack view, and practice using IB actions and IB outlets. Now, why is this important? That's because, as you can see up here, I built this application about a year ago, but uploaded this README file about 4 days ago. So you're wondering, how in the world did you remember what you did in this app for over a year being away from it? Well, I didn't remember. That's the point of refreshing myself. This was a huge help in refreshing myself on what I did on all of my other applications. All these, like, how many applications do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 applications. I can't remember what I did in all of those after a year of being away from them. For example, Dream Lister, I worked with core data, fetch and display images and information. What this did, it allowed me to dive back into my iOS applications and refresh myself, remind myself what I did in that app. And I had a lot of oh yeah moments, like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing in that application. Or oh yeah, that's how you use IB actions and IB outlets. Oh yeah, that's how you integrate sound into an application. Because I've already learned it, I just need to find it in my brain and refresh myself of what I've learned previously. All of those oh yeah moments is just me remembering knowledge that I previously forgot. And another huge plus is having these neat Readme files allow future employers or potential clients to see what the app is all about, as well as what I learned while building that app, so they know I know how to do that. So if it's a potential employer, they see that I know how to use NS fetched results controller, and I know how to use core data, or I know how to integrate an API within my application like I did in my weather app, or how to use CocoaPods and Alamo Fire. So basically, to recap step 1, go back into your old apps, your old Xcode projects, read your code within those applications, look at the main.storyboard, see how everything works, and refresh yourself on that application, and I'm sure you'll have many oh yeah moments like I did. Step 2, I broke down my current project, the stock trading application that I've been building in season 2, into smaller chunks. I looked at my app, I saw that I had login authentication, for example. I found login authentication within my code, saw how that worked, what else that affected within my application, and then continued to do that with other aspects of my current application. So I had many oh yeah moments as well, because it's not like I'm diving into somebody else's code base where I'm not really sure what's going on. I remember building this application. I remember integrating login authentication and Google authentication and trying to get Facebook authentication to work. I remember all that now that I went back to my code, broke things down into smaller chunks, and found the code and realized how it worked. So it's essentially how you go back and work into somebody else's software. It's basically getting hired by any existing software company. In order to integrate any useful code into their code base, you kind of have to understand that code base. And a good way to do that, from my experience and from others' experience that I've spoken with, is you go back, you break things into smaller chunks, see how they work, see what else is affected by it, and then go into the next thing. This is affected by that, and kind of see how that works, and what else is affected by that, and it's just a chain reaction, and you just kind of get familiar with the code base. In my opinion, that's the easiest way I found. But as I mentioned, it's much easier to get back into your original code base than somebody else's code base, because your code base is going to remind you of how you built it, and someone else's code base is all new to you. So basically, you're just trying to have as many oh yeah moments as possible with step 1 and step 2, because all of this code has been yours, you created it, and you're just going back and reminding yourself what you previously created. And that's basically it for step 1 and step 2. That's how I got back into iOS development after being away for many months, more months than I'd prefer. But luckily, I have committed myself into getting back into iOS development, obviously, so I can make many more iDev Journey Season 2 videos to come, and to end Season 2 as soon as possible, because as many of you know, ending Season 2 is finishing up this application that I'm building in Season 2. So the sooner I finish up this application, the sooner Season 2 ends. And then we can get into Season 3, which is launching that on the App Store, putting my marketing plan into place, and then kind of growing that into the business that I hope for it to be. And yes, I will be doing this alongside a very busy final semester as a computer science student, but I promise I'm going to get as much iOS development fit into this upcoming semester as possible, in hopes to have a final product at most by summer. But that's it for iDev Journey episode 4. If you made it this far into the video, I'm assuming you enjoyed it, so be sure to show me that and hit the like button right down there. And if you really enjoyed it and hope to see future content like this, hit the subscribe button right down there. But that's it for me, guys. Until next time, have a good one. Peace.